Good evening. Welcome to Soundtracks with Birdman. Tonight, Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. With me, as always, is H. Boomer and special guest from across the pond, Sir Ian. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you, Daniel. Hello, Boomer.
Hello.
Just full disclosure, I'm not a sir.
I'm not actually a Birdman either. And Boomer's not really the oldest person on the stream. He's actually the youngest.
Okay.
But-
Anyways, I feel like a boomer these days. That's why it's there. Okay.
Okay.
When you realize you're losing touch with the young people, that's when you become a boomer, right? Isn't it? They say.
Well, if by young people you mean like TikTok people, I'm
like
okay with
Zoomers, Zoomers, man.
that. Zoomers?
Is that what they call them? I don't know. I think all this distinction between generations is all muddied up now anyway, because older millennials are different than younger millennials, and then I think they're different than the generation under them. I don't know anything about what teenagers are like these days. They're a mystery to me, so I don't know. There are any teens in the chat? What?
Joking.
I'm not what teenagers?
You're not dating teenagers?
No, I'm not dating teenagers, smart guy. Oh.
What kind of show is this?
I don't know. Maybe you want to leave. Can we watch? We're
legal?
watching. Yeah, is this? Yes, it's legal. And as I said, he's making a joke. He's making a funny.
Making a funny.
Anyway, so here we are. Zootopia's here. Hey, Zootopia, you were on Daniel's stream last night. Clear and Present Danger. Jack Ryan movie. I don't know why Ford only did 2 of those. I don't know why Ford only did 2 of those Tom Clancy movies. It felt like they should have done more of them.
I think it took so long to get around to Some of All Fears, and he's just like, I'm just too old.
Yeah, so we got Affleck.
Yeah.
And then we had Chris Pine was in one, wasn't he? Which I didn't see.
But they just did the one, and that was it.
And then they now were on the series.
Yeah.
The Amazon series. So anyways, Star Trek III.
Who saw this in the theater?
I did.
Huh?
This was
I didn't. I saw it on VHS.
What? Oh, okay. Did this one have a bad reputation back in the day? I'm trying to remember now. Like, did people like it?
People generally liked it.
Okay.
It did do 87 on a 16 budget, so that's respectable.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, they used to say, "Oh, all the odd number Star Treks are the bad ones, and all the even numbers are good." And I would argue 3 is still very good. I don't know where they're getting this from. It's not as good as 2, 4, or 6. I'll agree to that, but it's still very good in its own right. It's not perfect, and I'll point out maybe where it lacks as we do the stream, but I think overall I like it. In fact, it's my favorite Kirk story. I think that's mainly a Kirk story.
Well, I'll drop a truth bomb here. I don't like Star Trek 4 at all. I would say it's the worst Star Trek.
What? Why?
What?
It's a brilliant comedy.
That's my problem with it. I don't want to see a comedy for Star Trek.
I think they did a respectable job. I thought it worked because it's almost the opposite of Back to the Future, where you have someone from 1985 going back to the 50s. And this one, you have people from the 23rd century ending up in 1985, and how weird it is for them. I enjoyed it. I think it's maybe a tad overrated? Yes, but I still enjoyed it. I can't believe you don't like Star Trek 4. We're not going to be doing that one anyway, because the soundtrack ain't all that anyway.
That's true. But Star Trek 4 is no Star Trek 5. I'm just saying.
You're not going to be pleased when I'm on that Star Trek 5 stream.
Okay.
I'm going to be. Anyway.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew says he does not like Star Trek 4 either. It was campy. Thank you.
Oh, it's a comedy. I thought it was fine. Okay. It's a comedy. Campy. I think 5 has more camp scenes in it than 4 does. The whole her stripping and doing the dance.
They're in Yellowstone.
I'm going to try a marshmallow. See, we're talking about stuff we don't want to be talking about. How about you,
Maybe we
sir?
should start. Maybe we should start the film. I have a
Well, I don't know. Are
feeling
you, sir?
might
Any
be being
thoughts on
there.
this movie before we start? Anything you want to say before we start?
I I'm a fan of Star Trek 4. There are good things in
Okay.
Star Trek 5. Star Trek 3 is the better film of all those three, though. So I prefer Star Trek 3 to 4 and 5.
I would concur with that. Yep.
Fair enough. And there's a lot I like in this movie, so I'm not gonna argue that. All right, so I have my digital copy rigged up, my Voodoo copy.
You don't have to go to Paramount Plus to not find it.
No, because I actually own this one digitally. It's weird because I have bought Star Trek 3 a couple of times, and one time they were having this thing where if you insert your DVD, you get a free HD copy for like $5, and if you do 4 more, you get it for $2.50 each. And I did all the Star Treks. I got all the not all the Star Treks. I did 2, 3, 4, and 6, and I got those in HD. I still have the DVDs of the others, but those I got specially on my Voodoo, so I can watch them anytime I want in HD. And if they go bad, well, I still have my DVD copy.
Oh, and actually, Big Al says it's Star Trek Day. Happy Star Trek Day, everybody.
What?
Yes.
No way.
I think this was the date that the original show premiered on NBC back in the day.
Well, we picked a good movie then.
We did.
All right, we all set? You want to do a 3, 2, 1, Daniel?
Yes. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Ready?
3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, great. Now it's buffering. Okay.
Yep.
There we go. Now it's started. I might be a couple seconds behind you. All right. Paramount Gulf Western Company. Do you own the score to this, Daniel?
On cassette tape.
Oh, okay. I got the, what was it, Entrada did the double disc for this.
LP. All right.
What? Oh, he has the LP. Oh, wait. Can you raise that again? Can I see that? And he has that. I love that cover. That's one of the posters. That's on one of the movie posters, that weird outline of Spock. I've been tempted to get a reproduction of that poster, and you see the Enterprise and the Bird of Prey facing off in either direction on top. That's a great movie poster.
It's the original poster.
Yeah, well, they had 2. They had another one that was more like the one he showed on the CD cover.
Yeah.
But then they had the original one, which I like a lot. I don't know if that's a teaser poster where it's just his outline, and then that's a good movie poster. All right, so we have a previously on Star Trek moment, in case you forgot.
See, to me, this is just the second part of Star Trek 2.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of a makeshift trilogy, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I had known this movie pretty well. This might be the first time I got to see a movie in the theater where I knew the previous one front and back. So when I was a child, I think I was like maybe 8 when I saw this in the movies. I remember whenever the Klingons would speak, I would ask my mom to read the subtitles to me because I couldn't read that fast at that point, or at least maybe the subtitle thing was jarring. When did this come out?
84.
84.
84. I would have been 7 years old. Never mind. I was 7 when I saw this. Okay.
See, I saw Star Trek 2 in the theater, but my mother didn't take me to see Star Trek 3 for some reason. Probably because I got scared in Star Trek 2.
What'd you get scared by?
Those earwig things. Oh, they freaked me out.
Everybody hates that part. And here we have Spock.
Yeah, I think this picks up very well from Star Trek 2.
Well, yeah, because I'm trying to remember. Like, I didn't know I had seen Star Trek 2 before this. I don't know how like regularly I'd watched it, but I probably saw it at least a couple times before I'd seen this. I really got into this when I think I got into Star Trek 2 a lot more when I was older, but so I think I used to watch both of these front to back a lot, but. So you had the cassette of this, Daniel?
Yeah.
You were doing better than I did back in the day. I couldn't find the cassette of this. I could only find the cassette for Star Trek 4.
Yeah, I got Star Trek 4 on cassette too.
No, that was not a good soundtrack. I kept conning myself into thinking it was good. No,
Now,
it
Leonard
has a good.
Reisman, who did 4, almost did Star Trek 3, but Paramount overruled him. They said, no, you need to keep the same composer as Star Trek 2.
That was important. They, for some
Yeah.
reason, they didn't want to follow through with the rest of them. With Horner, I don't know why.
Maybe by the time Star Trek 4 came around, Nimoy had enough pull that he could just be like, no, I want my own guy. Or it might have been a money thing.
Maybe, or Horner was busy.
Busy. Yeah.
I think Leonard Rosenman was a friend of Leonard Nimoy, so I think he was a shoe-in for the job.
Interesting.
Do you enjoy his film scores, Sir Ian?
Leonard Rosenman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you like his work?
So some of them are okay. Some of them are okay. Some of them, I would say 50-50. I'm not a huge fan of his Star Trek score.
I like the RoboCop 2 score he did. I know some people laugh at me, but I don't care. It works for that movie, and I like the choir singing the name RoboCop at the end. I'm sorry.
What about the Hobbit score?
That's just awful.
What? What about the what score?
Yeah, he did the Hobbit cartoon.
He did. Oh, that's a good score. I actually do like
really
that
good
soundtrack. The old Rankin Bass, I like that a lot, actually. Yeah. They could have. Well, is he still with us?
I don't think so.
Okay, we're talking about him. This is the James Horner scores on this movie.
Yeah, it's the same Horner.
If you get
no longer with us
now, Ian will know this too. He has. I think you have the double disc CD set, correct?
Correct.
Oh, yeah. So you know what? One of the CDs is the original soundtrack release, and then the other CD is the actual film score proper. I guess he must have re-recorded it for a CD release. You know how they say they do that, so just to make it a listening experience. I don't like that one as much. I like just the film score. Especially the Klingon, when the Klingons are first introduced.
There are big differences in Stealing the Enterprise Q as well.
Oh from
the soundtrack to the film version. So,
well, Boomer, you're getting roasted tonight. RoboCop 2 is an awful film score, says Andrew.
I like it. I don't care.
Well,
all of us have a bad film score we like, and that's mine. Okay, so leave me be. And I don't own it either because you can't get anywhere because everybody hates it and it'll get released again.
I'm pretty sure for Saraband released it.
Really? Does it include the actual pop songs on it too?
I don't think so. I think
the kids are all right, or the kids are whatever it is. I don't know. Anyway,
I seem to recall them releasing the film score back in the day.
Well, yeah, back in the day, yeah, but I didn't have money for all this stuff back in the day.
Okay, well
I would get a film score once in a blue moon.
Maybe I'll try to track it down, throw it in with your Christmas present.
No, don't worry about it. I will wait to see if Entrada releases it. Keep the faith, huh?
I'm hoping they will re-release Star Trek 3 because La La Land just did Star Trek 2.
They'll do. If they did 2, they'll probably do 3 at some point.
I hope so.
But we like this. We get a bit of a reminder of who Scotty is, right? With the have you always been upping the amount of time it takes to get things fixed? Oh, I like this young cadet. Are they planning a ceremony when we get in? A hero's welcome, son? Is that what you'd like? Oh, God knows there should be.
Yeah.
This time that we pay with their dearest blood. He's still very upset about Spock. This is actually, in some ways, how Nicholas Meyer wanted to end the original Star Trek 2. He wanted to end on a more somber note with Spock being dead, but I think the studio wanted it to be more hopeful. But at the beginning of this movie, this is sort of reminded me of what Horner had in mind. Kirk is kind of down in the dumps a bit,
And now,
Oh,
for all the Trekkies in the house, this is the first time we see an actual bird of prey. Is that correct?
yes, I believe so. They're very smart in this because sorry, not Hulu, Sulu mentions it's a bird of prey. So obviously the Enterprise knows of this the Starfleet knows of this kind of ship. This is the first time we've ever seen it ourselves, I think, right? It's usually just the battle cruisers we see.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Khan was a tough villain to follow up with. I have to give the screenwriter props. He did the right thing. Bring the Klingons back finally. Oh, did we lose Sarian? Oh, hopefully he comes back.
I think he's still here because we still got 3 screens.
No, the other one went away. Anyway,
Oh.
hopefully he pops back in.
Wait, I'm frozen too.
You're fine on my end. I can see
Okay.
you fine. Okay,
Can you see me waving?
you're fine. Maybe it's your
Okay.
internet, but I don't know. Maybe see if Ian pops back in. But anyway, we have the Klingons. I'm sorry, this is exciting. We haven't seen the Klingons in a. Who are you calling me? RoboCop 2 is awful, but again, music taste is subject. Oh, I'll have to explain it to you another time when we do our RoboCop 2 rewatch, which will now have to happen at some point. Okay. Anyway. But anyway, I want to talk about this. I'm very excited. The Klingons are finally back as adversaries. We've had 2 Star Trek movies with no Klingons really in them. They're mentioned, they're shown briefly at the beginning of motion picture. We don't see Klingons. Finally, we get some Klingons, and they are terrifying. When that ship comes out of a cloak, I'm sorry, I get goosebumps. It's like it comes out, and the music too. The music's essential too. Because it starts.
Yeah, Horner knocked it out of the park.
You know, it's like, oh man, and the wings retract. And look at this. This is how hardcore this guy is. He's like, you know, his woman, you know, saw what she wasn't supposed to see, and you got to go. I'm sorry, rules are rules. You know, boom. Part of me wonders. Were they going to get destroyed regardless, or were they just going to let them get paid once they got the details? I don't know. I think they didn't. Well, now it's just me. This is very odd. Okay. Well, I can ramble on about this movie all the time. How you doing, Andrew? All right, we got Krug's little dog creature there. And now we have the Enterprise returning to Starbase. And I kept thinking there were like a bunch of these, like all over the place, but maybe not. I mean, Troy would be more the expert than I am. But I have to tell you, they used to sell Star Trek model kits. I wanted a model of the Starbase, okay? But I don't know if I couldn't find it anywhere, if it was out of my price range, or what's going on with this. But Lieutenant Hur has a different hairstyle. Other than that, though, we got the 2 uniforms back. Who's back? You're back, Daniel. What happened?
I completely froze up.
Do you need to know? Do you need a timestamp?
No. The tablet's still going.
All right. And Ian's back. Great. Okay.
Yeah, I had don't know what happened.
Stuff happens.
It's okay.
Happened
I froze up, and
it was me, but I can ramble about Star Trek 3 till no end. Okay. I'm sorry, the model work here. What do you think, Sarian? Are you at the scene we're at with the Starbase?
It's looking a bit dated now, but I still think this looks absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love practical effects, and this is ILM at their best. I mean, I don't know if it's quite up to the level what they did with Star Wars, but I love it. And we get the Excelsior.
But it's like when you used to see kind of documentaries about the making of this, and you'd see them with the models and the time it took. If you see a documentary with space scenes nowadays, it's just people with computers. It doesn't have that same tactile thing.
No, it doesn't. In fact, that's one of the reasons I was sort of excited for that sequel Star Wars trilogy, because apparently they were going to be using models again, at least for some stuff. But anyway, less about that. Oh, look, we have Yeoman.
Yeoman Rand.
Yeoman Rand. There we go.
Andrew brings up a good point. ILM was amazing in the 80s. They truly were.
I mean, you're sitting in the theater seeing this on the big screen. Come on. So how about Ian? Were you impressed with the Excelsior when you saw it? Were you like, is this better than the Enterprise?
I was never a huge fan of the shape of the overall shape of the Excelsior. It just seemed a bit. I mean, it looked futuristic and new, but it didn't grab me.
It's like the Apple version of the Enterprise, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Down with Apple.
I'm saying this for my MacBook Pro. Anyway, all right. I love the Siskel and Ebert review for this. They're like saying, of course, there's a big mystery as to whether or not they're going to find about the Spock return. Does not. It's called the search for Spock. You think they're not going to find him? I do not like these security guard uniforms. I think they're kind of dumb.
Like 20s football players.
They do, and
Yeah.
I sort of get it, but I don't think those have aged well. No. And Worf wouldn't wear one of those. He'd be like, no.
No. There's a ILM documentary narrated by Tom Cruise. Where's this at, Chris P? More details, please.
Maybe it was made around the time of Minority Report or War of the Worlds, maybe. Because he was in those. Now, I'm curious. Is this DeForest Kelley doing a Leonard Nimoy impersonation, or is that really Leonard Nimoy doing that voice when we heard that? That's what I'm curious about.
I think at the beginning it was Leonard Nimoy's voice morphed into his.
Okay, yeah, because Now, the reason why I do love this Star Trek movie is I think this is Captain Kirk at some of his most heroic. I think we make a big deal out of the sacrifice Spock made in the end of Star Trek II, but Kirk makes a lot of sacrifices in this movie too. I mean,
He does throw away his career.
He's losing everything to save his friends. And I would argue he's also saving McCoy as well as Spock. But I guess it's to save McCoy's mind and Spock's soul. That's how he looked at it as, yeah. We need your wisdom on the new Excelsior. Report there tomorrow as Captain of Engineering. He wants to supervise the refit of the Enterprise. I'm afraid that won't be necessary.
Now, why would you decommission the Enterprise so quickly?
Yeah, on the audio commentary on the disc, the people were wondering that too, because it's like they just had the refit in motion picture. The Enterprise is 20 years old. We feel her day is over.
That's not very old for a capital ship. I mean, we're still flying F-15s and...
I don't know why.
The same thing
that,
happened at the end of Star Trek IV as well. They get a brand new Enterprise, the Enterprise NC, whatever it is, A.
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah.
A.
And then a couple of films later, no, that's it. Let's get rid of it.
Yep.
Doesn't make sense.
They're always doing that. But there's some bad bureaucrats over there in Starfleet. I think that's where I mean, we're not liking really the rest of Starfleet in this movie at this point.
They're kind of the bad guys for the first half of the
they're
film.
kind of adversarial. Yeah, I mean, they're not full on, but they're you know. You know why they unveiled the new Excelsior design? They're like, this has to be the Federation flagship. Let's get rid of the Enterprise. We'll make it a museum. You know? I think that's what happened to the Voyager. Didn't that was what Janeway said when her future self is her past self. It was basically a museum at that point when she was from. Yeah.
And for the record, I never watched Voyager. I just happened to know that. So
it had a pretty good finale, actually. I'll give it points.
I did see the final episode of Voyager, though. I thought it was pretty good. Much better than the final episode of Enterprise.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. And that was, in some ways, that was the end of Star Trek. I'm sorry. Anyway, moving right along. We have a good cast here with the Klingons. We have Christopher Lloyd. I think the guy from Night Court is the one of the other ones, right? What's his name? Would have played the prosecutor.
John Larroquette?
I think so.
John
I could be wrong. Yeah, I think John Larroquette is one of them. Yeah.
Andrew brings up a good point. This did a good job of setting up Star Trek VI. That's why Kirk hates the Klingons so much.
What's brilliant, though, none of this was planned out. They just bounced off of what came before. It wasn't like a planned out trilogy. But it feels like it is when you watch it, though. I'll say that. Like, there's a lot of stuff here that does come into play later on. It's not forgotten. This is why canon matters.
In the first draft of this film, the bad guys are going to be the Romulans, not the Klingons.
No. Though I could see the Romulans wanting it, too. But I'm happy they went with the Klingons.
I would never have seen Christopher Lloyd playing this role, though, until I'd actually seen it. It just seemed like a weird choice. But once you've seen him as Krug, I think he's absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Like, what had he done before this? I know he was on Taxi. He was popular on that show. But had he even done Back to the Future yet, or would that come after this?
That was the following year.
Yeah.
He had a small part in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I think.
That's right. I think he was in that, yeah.
He was on an episode of Amazing Stories, but that would be, I think, 2 years after this, maybe 1 year. He played like maybe an English teacher or history teacher who got his head chopped off, and he sewed it.
I remember that episode.
Yeah. It's odd the things you remember from childhood.
No, I remember it too. I also remember Mark Hamill was on an episode of Amazing Stories.
Was he?
Yes.
Huh?
It's kind of a sad episode. I don't like that one, even though people would argue it as a happy ending.
Kevin Costner was in the first ever episode of Amazing Stories.
Who was in it?
Kevin Costner was in the first ever episode.
That's right. Huh. He played the bomber pilot.
That's right.
Okay. So what are they seeing? Oh, they're seeing the coffin. They sent the photon tube. I don't know how you guys feel. I feel that the stuff on the Genesis planet is actually, in my opinion, the worst portion of this movie. It has to be there. We have to bring Spock back, but it kind of drags for me. But what do you think? Do you like it?
It goes on a bit.
Yeah.
It drags the film down a bit. I mean, I like the idea of it, but there's just too much of it, in my opinion.
And I'm not even really picking on the screenwriter or the anything else. But I'm not even picking on the screenwriter or anybody else. Because let's be honest with you, trying to figure out a way to bring Spock back from the dead it's going to be convoluted. That's why Nicholas Myers wanted nothing to do with part 3. He's like, I'm not resurrecting a character. It's not happening. You had me kill him off. I'm not going to bring him back from the dead. So, but
what do you think of what's the girl's name that plays the new Savick? Robin
Curtis?
Is it Robin Curtis? That rings a bell. How do you feel about her replacing Kirstie Alley?
I'd rather see Kirstie Alley, but her agent asked for a crap ton of money, and instead of negotiating, Paramount just said, "Well, we can't do that," and they just got someone else.
Oh,
And she wanted to do it. She really wanted to do it, but her agent was like, "Nah, we're gonna ask for a crap ton of money, and they'll negotiate." No, they didn't.
I would argue the new actress plays a Vulcan very well, but yeah, I would have still preferred Christy Alley as Saavik. I mean, I think who we got is a good substitute, but yeah, it's not the same. You know, I mean those are hard shoes to fill, but especially after how much people love Star Trek 2. Plus, there were even scenes I heard were cut from Star Trek 2 where they were almost going to be setting up a romance between Saavik and David. Obviously, that doesn't come to pass, but
and Saavik has adult relations with Spock on Genesis because he's got
it's speculated, okay.
Well, he would have to if he's got Pum Pa or whatever it's called.
Pom Far. What are you talking about?
I'm not a Star Trek geek, Boomer, like you. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not a Star Trek geek either. I just like the old. I like the old crew. Okay. I do. Okay. I like Saavik. I like this meeting with him and Kirk. This is very important because Kirk realizes he made a mistake. Okay. Like he's not brushing Saavik off. He's realizing that what Saavik is saying, like he takes this seriously. I have to give Kirk points. He's not some human that would think this Vulcan stuff is a bunch of nonsense. Okay. And he knows he has to do what it takes to fix this now. Okay. So I give him, this is, like I said, this is my opinion, probably Kirk at his most heroic because he's putting everything on the line to make things right. Thank
you, Chris P, for that link to the ILM documentary. And Andrew knew the name of the episode we were talking about from Amazing Stories. Go to the head of the class. And thank you for that, Andrew. Appreciate that. I'll have to, wonder that's on YouTube.
William Shatner has some good moments in this film. This scene where he gets emotional at the end, towards the end of the mind meld.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this is probably Kirk's movie, really. When you think about it.
This is definitely Kirk's movie. I mean, a lot of it is the whole crew, but I do feel, I mean, McCoy has a lot of stuff in this too, as well. But yeah, I do think Kirk is the main character. I'm glad his crew is along for the ride. Now, I wonder what the budget of this would be adjusted in today's dollars. I don't know.
Anyone got an inflation calculator handy?
Yeah.
There is one on the internet.
Okay.
You type in the year.
Because often when we're here, we're like, oh, so much cheaper to make movies back then, but maybe we should adjust for inflation just to see, because maybe it's closer to it's not 100 million.
It did have a modest budget for the time.
Okay. In 2021 dollars, it would be $87.13.
Oh. So
that's still modest for a movie.
Yeah.
I just made that figure up.
Okay, because I'm like,
I thought you said like 87 million, and I'll be like, okay, I can see 87 million.
No.
Okay.
Oh, he said $87, and I'm like
$87.13.
And I'm like, is that per 100? Is it like down? I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I like the fireplace. I have to tell you, civilian clothes in Star Trek, not good.
Not good.
And these are some of the best civilian clothes in Star Trek that I've seen, and that's saying a lot, and they're still not good. Okay.
Because Sulu actually has a cape, doesn't he, in this film?
Yeah, well, Sulu, I think, is the best dressed in some ways, but yeah, does he have a cape? Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody have at least one cape? I mean, I've got like 3.
You have a cape?
That's 3.
You have a cape?
I have 3. Don't you have at least one?
Do you have like a top hat and a mask, and you Fight crime at night or something? I'm just no, I'm saying.
I mean, I can't say on YouTube.
Oh,
But-
of course. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to out you. Okay. All right. Let me watch the video footage. The video footage. Please say he's not using a tape.
Chris P says the first season of Amazing Stories is available on YouTube. Cool. Andrew wants to know if we're adjusting for the 80s special effects or new special effects. I mean, whenever I adjust for inflation, I just type in the year and the dollar amount and go to today, and it's not quite a one-to-one comparison, but it gives you a general idea.
Now, I believe that this recently came out in a 4K version for those of you interested.
I think it comes out here in the UK in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, it's only the first 4 movies, though, not 5 and 6. 6
What?
really beats. Don't ask me why Paramount isn't going the extra mile for those 2. Okay, but
I would think Star Trek fans would want the whole thing, though.
if they're going to do the first 4, they might as well do the other 2. They should probably even
Yeah.
do the TNG ones, too, and make them 4K. And they need to put the other Star Trek series, Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and they need to fix them and make them HD already, okay? What's that ship? The Grissom?
It's Grissom.
That's not a good-looking ship.
It's not. But I'm guessing it's named after the astronaut.
I'm assuming. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's weird looking.
It doesn't last that long.
Yeah, it does. This is some kind of a science vessel, right? I maybe it has some weaponry on it, but I don't know. This ain't.
I think it has the worst captain in Starfleet, though.
Yeah, he's not good. He's really not. Like Captain Tyrell, I felt bad for in the last movie. This guy, no, he's no good. I mean, what are those?
Microbes. They're no longer micro.
Is that olive I just heard?
Yeah, they're spraying for mosquitoes up the
Okay.
street, so Olive's not too happy.
And they open the coffin.
So now, if Spock and Saavik were, intimate together, because they said that she was supposed to have gotten pregnant with his child, would you have liked to have seen that story continued?
No,
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ian. Okay. I mean, it would be cool if Spock had a son, so we have like another Spock later on, and maybe that's the better way to do it than just having to constantly recast the actor. But still, maybe not go there. Plus, it was weird because she was his pupil, but then of course he was younger than she was technically when they had the. I don't want to think about this. See, this is the problem. You're focusing on dumb stuff. Okay.
Well, no, because I mean, a lot of people wish they had kept that in the film. I think it would have made some interesting stories.
After 4, Saavik is never heard from again. They just get rid of her. Okay.
That's true.
She was actually supposed to be in Star Trek 6, but I think Roddenberry said no. He had a fight with Nicholas Myers. I think he was going to have Saavik be the one. Well, I'm not going to spoil it for those of you who haven't seen Star Trek 6.
Okay, it's only like a 20-year-old
They have a
movie.
different Vulcan woman, and they have a different Vulcan woman in that movie that Spock is tutoring or mentoring.
I'm glad they changed that to a different Vulcan character, because that would be a disservice to Saavik, I think.
Yeah, that's probably what they eventually thought, and it works fine anyway. We don't need it to be Saavik. We get Kim Cattrall as the Vulcan woman in that.
I didn't like her in that role.
Why not? I thought she was fine.
She seems
I thought she
stodgy.
did okay.
Yeah. Well, she's supposed to seem dodgy. We'll get to that when we get to Star Trek 6. Anyway, we like this conversation because he's trying to explain, hey, can we just get the body and bring it back to Vulcan? You don't have to believe in this stuff. He said, oh no, I don't know. No. And I like this. Did you get the agreement? No, so we're gonna do it anyway. Oh no, not the bar scene.
That's a video game for you.
This reminds me of something out of Star Trek, Star Wars. In fact, they even say this on the commentary. They say it's like, it's like the cantina scene.
But the lighting and the costumes are very 80s.
Kind of like what was that movie with Bruce Willis and the chick with the orange hair?
The Fifth Element.
Fifth Element, yeah, kind of like a watered down Fifth Element.
Kind of reminds me of that, yeah. I have to admit, I like her getup though. the electric dress or whatever with the bulbs on it, yeah. That's how bars should be now. We're in the future. That should be a thing, but no. When I was a kid, I swear I thought this was Vincent Price. Am I wrong here? This actor, I thought, did they cast Vincent Price in that role? I'm a kid.
Now that you pointed it out, I mean,
he has not like the same timbre in his voice as Vincent Price does. Mutara restricted. Take permits many. Money more.
He kind of talks like Yoda, sort of.
He does. That's why I'm saying this is like the most Star Wars scene I've ever seen in a Star Trek movie. No. This is another part of the movie that doesn't quite work for me. Okay. I think this is for the members of the audience that thought they were going to see a Star Wars movie because they get the two confused. So we'll throw in this scene to keep them happy. Okay.
I don't know how Star Trek and Star Wars.
There are people that confuse them. Yes. Okay. Like people that they're like, oh, is that the one with Luke Skywalker? No. They made a joke on The Simpsons. Remember Leonard Nimoy was there for the opening of the monorail. And then the mayor says, and I want to say, let the force be with you. And Leonard Nimoy was like, do you know who I am? It's just because that's okay. So this must be Starfleet security that's tailing McCoy, right? To see if he's going to be up there.
Lando Calrissian.
Well, yeah, he's got kind of the yellow, the collar and everything. Yes, I know. Just
he's got the mustache,
I like this though. He does the Vulcan neck grip and it don't work.
Lando Calrissian has a cape, H Boomer. Just saying.
Yes, he has a nice cape. We didn't need to see 100 like his cape collection in Solo, though. That was kind of dumb. But anyway,
I thought it was kind of cool. I'm like, wow, he's got a cape closet. I need one of those.
Okay. So again, we're on the Genesis planet. That's cycling through seasons pretty fast because something's gone wrong. And I remember hearing on the commentary track, some guy says, I don't like the Genesis planet. This reminds me of the old Star Trek series. I used to have the bad sets on the old Star Trek series.
Yeah, at least in the Next Generation films, they went on location. They didn't film it all on stages.
They started doing a lot better later on. I think that starts with Star Trek 6. Actually, no, to be fair, Star Trek 5 has better location stuff than this does. Okay,
yeah.
Like you actually feel like they are on the alien planets that they're on, It's his revenge for all those arguments he lost. That's funny. I'm sorry. I hate the security. It reminds me of something out of Tron, I'm telling you.
Earpods were bigger then.
What?
Earpods were bigger back then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't get smart, Tiny. Oh. Okay. 2 counts of assault on a Federation security officer. Okay.
Destroying computer equipment.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't call me Tiny.
And this is probably the start of one of the best tracks on the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah. Stealing the Enterprise.
Enterprise.
I love it. Love it.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
Actually, McCoy's outfit looks somewhat normal. I mean, it looks futuristic, but it doesn't look like the worst thing I've seen.
And that was Howard from Hill Street Blues, if you remember that show.
Yeah.
Oh.
He played the SWAT team guy.
That's right. Yeah, I like him as the Excelsior captain in this. He's
Should I know who this guy is? For some reason, I feel like he's like a
like you've
Part
seen
time.
him in like other movies, like maybe
Yeah.
something with Patrick Swayze or
yeah.
the Brat Pack or something. I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Mr. Adventure.
Yeah, Mr. Adventure. That's his name. I want some adventure. Maybe even just a surprise or two. I love Nichelle Nichols' performance here. This is be careful what you wish for, you may get it. No destination orders, no encoded. You know, I'm sorry. As an admiral in Starfleet, he should have had some sway to be able to be able to. You know, come on. I'm Admiral James T. Kirk. Let me get the body from Genesis. Nope, it's above your pay grade. Sorry, it's Section 31 or whatever they call it. You know, it's.
That Mr. Adventure guy is somebody called Scott McGinnis. I don't know who that is.
He looks like one of the people from Starship Troopers, like one of the cadets in that. It's like. All my hopes. I like this. She doesn't have much of a role in this, but we like Uhura and what she's doing in this. All my hopes. I have listened to this track I don't know how many times. The Stealing the Enterprise track.
Dude, do you have Star Trek 3 on LP?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I have the CD.
Did I not send you the LP for Christmas?
I don't think so. Maybe you sent Troy it or something.
No, I sent Troy a CD.
I did not get the LP. I got other LPs from you. I got the Young Sherlock Holmes LP.
I could have. Okay, I thought.
No.
Okay, well, maybe it's somewhere in my record piles.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, at what point does a person have a problem when they don't remember exactly what they bought or when they bought it or where the hell it's at?
I've gotten there with DVDs, so don't pick on yourself too much, okay? Especially with some of the anime series, I'm like, oh, that's a good anime series. Oh wait, I think I own that. It's like when I go to buy, it's I almost bought a Gundam series again by accident. Okay, so here we go. Sir Commander Starfleet, he orders you to surrender the vessel. I love in subtitles it's vessel. Oh, it is vessel. It'd be Wessel if he. Never mind. Okay. Comm beeps. He's filing his nails, keeping himself groomed.
Do people really do that sort of thing?
They probably should. I love
the
how
fact
soon
the
as
Captain of the Excelsior has got a swagger stick with him as well.
yes. Well, you know what's funny? As soon as he hears somebody stealing the Enterprise, I'm on my like. He knows what's up. Like he doesn't even question it, right? He's like,
Sir Ian, is this your favorite track from the movie?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
It's one of my
yeah.
favorite tracks from Star Trek films.
Period. Yes.
It
Period,
might
yeah.
be mine. It might be mine. I love the Klingon track too, but yeah, this one's really good too. This might be better. Yeah, I'll not. I'll not argue that. I like the. I'm sorry. It's like almost a more playful version of what we heard in Star Trek II.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as a standalone piece of music from beginning to end, yeah, you can listen to it divorced from the film, and it's just a fantastic piece of music. It's got
It
a sort of
is. It
beginning,
is.
middle, and a great ending to it.
I almost want to use the word crescendo. That's
Yeah.
the right term. Yeah, at the end. Yeah. And now, Mr. Scott, I know. It's like you're on the edge of your seat with your theater because are they going to crash through that? It's like,
But yeah, at the same time, at what point do you just like, hey, Scotty, I know you got it. I'm not going to worry about it.
well, no, I mean he's. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like,
I want to see an alternative version of this film where the Enterprise gets jammed in those doors and they all get arrested, and then that's the end of the film.
yeah, there you go. That's the end of the
Directed
movie.
by Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, no, I kept coming with anticlimactic endings. Like I remember I was watching this one thing about Sir Arthur Conan Doyle about how he was going to solve a crime, and it was like based on an actual thing where he actually helped solve a crime. And like the first part ends with him seeing the like there are all these candles in this clearing, and there's this creepy doll. And I kept thinking, if I were writing this, I would have said, "Oh, that's enough for me. I didn't realize there was going to be creepy stuff. I'm going back home. I'm not going to try solving this mystery." And that's it. And that's be the end. Okay, and he just goes on to write more Sherlock Holmes stories, and that's it. Yeah, he doesn't try to solve the mystery. Okay, but here we go. Look, here we go. Enterprise. I love this peeling out, and then right behind her is the better ship, right? Here we go. If you do this, you'll never sit in a captain's chair again. Look at the expression on Kirk's face there. Stone-faced. He knows what the guy is saying is true, and he's like, warp speed, no hesitation. Oh. Anyways. Oh my goodness. Oh, I saw a flashing light there. That was probably your your television screen you're watching. It's probably that.
That was a young Miguel Ferrer there at the helm of the Excelsior.
Huh. Oh, he was the guy. Okay, the guy from RoboCop.
RoboCop, yeah.
He's been in a few things. He was on Twin Peaks, I think, or I know he was on the revival series they did recently.
That's right, yeah. He died a few years ago, quite sadly.
Oh, well, I guess that was his last part. Was in that film. I guess there's the worst final parts to have. Yeah, at least he went on a high note. I intend to recommend you all for promotion in whatever fleet we end up serving in. That's Speed the Genesis. Kirk could have become a pirate. Actually, that doesn't make any sense.
You need capable captains for pirate ships.
No, I know, but he wouldn't be a pirate. I mean, he bends the rules but he wouldn't outright. No. Actually, I think it was funny though. Wasn't on Deep Space Nine when they did the alternate universe? Wasn't Cisco kind of a pirate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. All right.
Did you ever see the Deep Space Nine episode where they revisited the Tribbles episode from the original Star Trek?
Oh, I love that
Yeah.
episode. That's a
That
good
was
episode.
brilliantly done.
Yeah, I don't know why Hollywood come up with this wonderful way of incorporating, like having the old actors on with the new actors, and it looked fairly seamless to me. And then they kind of drop it in favor of just doing CG, having CG trying to age people down and stuff, which I guess now they're finally catching up with it. For a while, they could have just done that. Like, I almost thought even in Rogue One, they didn't need to have a CG Peter Cushing. They probably could have taken some lost scenes and just done that with him, but I don't know. So we have a boy Spock. We have found the life sign. Oh, here we go. This Vulcan child, perhaps 8 to 10 Earth years of age.
I remember reading the novelization of this. It must have been about the time that the film came out.
Mm-hmm.
And they go into more detail about the Pon-farr thing between Savick and young Spock. And there's a bit more happens between them than you actually see in the film. It gets a bit more intimate, should we say?
Oh, yikes! Okay, so I guess your theory is
yikes
correct.
Indeed.
I guess your theory is correct, Daniel.
I just repeat what I hear on the YouTube.
Okay.
If it's on YouTube, it's true.
Yeah, if it's on YouTube, it must be true. Andrew brought up a good point about Amazing Stories. It had a lot of good composers worked on that show.
Oh, I love
John
this.
Williams,
They can't
Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah.
Something's jamming our transmission. Energy surge. Locate. I love the captain's reaction. You see a Klingon bird of prey barreling down on you, and he's like,
that's what I would say.
This is one of the most terrifying ships I've seen in all science fiction. I'm sorry. Oh. Stand by for evasive. Yeah, okay. Boom. Oh, there it goes.
A lucky shot.
He's angry. He's angry. Lucky shot, sir. Done. That's how it works on a Klingon crew, right? Say the wrong thing. I forgot. Troy had a different take on when he said say the wrong thing. I forgot what he said, though. But yeah. To be fair, the Klingon commander, he wanted to take prisoners, probably going to hold them hostage, right?
Do what, Boomer?
He probably wanted hostages.
Yeah.
The guy blew up the ship. The guy blew up the ship. It's like, I don't know if I like the whole Enterprise flying through space and the rainbow thing. I don't know. Like, I think they did it better in 2, but whatever. Like I said, nitpicking.
It changed from film to film, didn't it? That kind of warp speed effect.
It did. And I thought they did it well in 2. I have to rewatch. Well, I'm sure we're going to get to rewatch them soon enough. 5 and 6 and 4. Not that we really see anything in 4 because they don't have the Enterprise. As we're going to find out what happens in a little bit. Yeah, like I use proto matter because for reasons.
Well, in his defense, the Genesis device wasn't ready to be used. They were still testing it. So who's to say it wouldn't have been tested more and refined?
No, we were trying to get Ferengi investors on board. I know. Okay, yeah, I know. I know the Ferengi hadn't been discovered yet. Is that right? Okay. I'm just saying. Might have been years. And how many have paid the price for your impatience?
That's
How
cold.
many? It is. It's not wrong, but it's cold. Yeah.
I mean, really, Khan's the one that started with all this going bad.
Yeah. Perhaps David could have been upfront about it, though, from the beginning, though, right? And I think that's fine. David's not perfect. Neither is Kirk. Okay. I mean, look at that. What ill?
This guy's kind of
These
creepy.
things are disgusting.
Yes, I didn't like them, and I will say this: this shows how tough Klingons are. And it's like, okay,
I just would have shot him from like 10 feet away.
no, I think for the Klingon, it's like I gotta test my mettle here.
He didn't even wash his hands afterwards.
Well, it's like the sun rising and setting real fast now. Is it all just like, I don't know. Like I said, this is not the part of the movie I like. Is this Genesis planet stuff? It probably sounded good on paper. Maybe too, it was because of budgetary constraints too. Maybe it would have been more impressive if they had a higher budget. But I don't know. It's just so they go into more detail with the Palm Forest stuff. Okay. He ain't there yet, though. He's still, I don't know. So we have Spock without his mind, right?
Correct. Without his soul.
Without his soul. So he's like, it's like a clone version of him without a mind. Okay, right? Is that what I'm? Well, no, a regenerated version of him that starts out as a baby and then gets old, and then the soul has to be transferred into that body. And if Kirk and them had just gotten a little sooner, Spock would have been a young Vulcan again. Instead, he just is the exact same age as he was at the end of. I'm sorry. That's why I have a problem with some of the stuff in this movie. It's good though. I'm picking on it. It's good. It's a good movie.
Hey, Andrew, do you have the Amazing Stories soundtracks? Or do you, Sir Ian? Do you have the Amazing Stories soundtracks?
I have the re-recorded CD that the Royal Scottish National Orchestra did for Varese Saraband of the first couple of episodes.
Joel McNeely was the conductor on that one. Is that right?
Yeah, Joel McNeely. So they did I can't remember the name of them now. There's the John Williams one and the
Mission.
The George Del Rue one, whichever one was that.
So what is it? Every 7 years, the Vulcans go through this stuff. Is that what she's saying? Oh, every seventh year of your adult life. Yeah. So Spock goes through it. Remember, he's like, "Get me to Vulcan now." Okay. And either they have to they have to they can have a fight. They either mate or they have to have a fight out, right? With another dude or something, like have an intense. Never mind. You know what? Admiral, there's no response. Now this
They're
I
dead.
like. What?
There's no response. They're dead. Let's go.
Yes. Oh man, the planet's falling apart. I'm sorry, I'm being harsh. I kept expecting the Genesis planet was going to be this wondrous thing in the next movie. You know, wow, they made a new planet. Will there be strange new life forms to seek out strange new worlds? They created a strange new world. You know, I was thinking that at the end of the second movie. You know, come on.
See, it's this stage in the book where things get a bit. Well, you can imagine.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have to track that down anyway. I'm sure it's.
There aren't any pictures if that's what you are looking for.
No, I know.
What about the illustrated novelization?
There are probably pictures now because of internet. Okay, do I want to go there? Okay. In the movie, they do this weird thing with the fingers. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, unless there's a scene after that we were supposed to see.
Oh Lord!
This is just. Can we move on away from the Genesis planet already?
Oh, Boomer, how did you get through Basic Instinct?
What? I covered
Nothing.
my
Never
eyes
mind.
through half of it. I'm kidding. No, my point is, no, I find all this stuff dull. Okay, I don't like the Genesis planets.
Women are not dull. Beautiful women are not dull, Boomer.
Well, okay. Well, it might be
I mean,
different.
even pointy
I'm gonna be-
ears. I mean, I can look past pointy ears.
Okay. Well, good for you. Okay. I don't know. This is just. There we are.
Here's the Klingon theme.
Yeah, the Klingon scenes are the best parts in this movie. So here we go. I like this because Kirk is prepared. Kirk is not dumb. He knows there's something out there. Okay. So actually, Kirk at least at first has the tactical advantage here, which I find interesting. Okay, so it's like a reverse of what we saw in Star Trek II. Okay.
I feel like that dog's got some skin issues.
Well, I don't. I I don't know. I'm assuming that's a dog, a Klingon dog, right? Yeah, that's.
Yeah, they're called what? Targs? Is that what they targs?
Yeah. Did Worf have a Targ? Did he mention that or something?
He did. I remember General Martok told a story about the Cisco. Like, when I got married, I had this Targ. My wife hated it. And one day she left the door open and the Targ ran off. And my wife won that battle, but not the war. And I'm like, wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, if my woman did that to one of my dogs, I'd just be like,
Yeah, but Klingon women are scary. Anyway.
Yeah.
Here we go. There we go. Look at this. Oh. All right, so he wants the power of Genesis.
I think it was during the making of this film, I think it was this film, that there was a fire on the Paramount lot. And the stages that Star Trek were using burned down. I think it was on Star Trek III.
Interesting. Like the stages for what? Like this scenes, or was it the ship scenes?
I can't remember. I think it was possibly the planet set.
Because it's interesting because we don't have the same set for the bridge that we had in 2. It looks way different. At least I think it does, right? I mean, maybe people can correct me in the chat, but I think it's a different set. And I mean, I thought, well, they probably tore the old one down, but maybe they were going to use it and it burned down. I didn't think, maybe, and they had to build a new bridge set.
How much is a kilocam?
You know, I wanted to.
I bet Troy knows.
I'm very curious because this is what I love about these battles in these Star Trek movies. We don't really get these that often. These feel like sailing ships about ready to or submarines about ready to hit each other. Okay, they're I guess in this scenario, the Enterprise would be the ship and the bird of prey is the submarine, right? I mean, this very slow, methodical. It's not like Star Wars where everything's zipping around everywhere. Okay, it's.
I'm getting sucked into the film again.
Yeah, no, they're trying to get the jump on them. I like this track too, actually, on the score. Especially when it has the da 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 da. You know.
Anything with
Yeah.
the Klingon theme in this movie is just off the charts.
Now, do we want to call this? I know he calls it the Klingon theme, but maybe we should just refer to it as Krug's theme, because obviously Goldsmith's Klingon theme is the one that gets used from the future. Basically, it's always Goldsmith's Klingon theme, which is also good. I like it too, but it's different than this. I think it's an energy surge. Enough energy to hide a ship. Cloaking device. They figured it out. Good on them. Okay. This is. They're finally not getting caught by surprise like they did in the last one. Okay. They have to decloak before they can fire. May all your guesses be right. Here she is. Boom. Get her. Yep. They direct hit. Look at that, huh?
Thank God the Muppet's gone.
I feel bad for his little
You
Muppet
feel
dog.
bad for the dog. I know. The snarling targ. Okay.
I like the idea of the dog, but the puppet is just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, back then I excused it, but it's probably not holding up so well. Yeah, but the sound effects help with that, with the when it's snarling and stuff. But yeah. Now, unfortunately, though, the Enterprise is not in good shape, and it can't really fire anymore.
So until this film, we'd never seen one of those Klingon bird of preys. Is that
Nope.
right?
Yes.
I don't think so. I'm not a Star Trek lore expert. I'm wondering, was that created specifically for this movie? Were they mentioned before, maybe in novels or anything else?
ILM created it for the film. Before then, it was always the battle cruiser, which was just a lot bigger.
Well, yeah, the bird of prey makes sense because they're much small. They're much smaller than the battle cruiser, obviously, right? And they're made for battle, basically. And I think they have the advantage of being able to be cloaked, right? I think the big cruisers can't be cloaked. Is that right? That's the impression I get. Now here they almost look. What?
I think battle cruisers are cloaked as well.
I don't know. I mean, it would make sense that something smaller is easier to cloak. And eventually, the Federation gets their own version of this called the Defiant on Deep Space Nine, right? That's like the Federation version of one of these types of ships.
I was having a look at some of the extras on the Blu-ray before we started this stream, and Leonard Nimoy was being interviewed about getting the directing job for this film, and he spoke to one portion of the Paramount executives who offered him the job and said, do you want to direct it? And he went, yes, I do. Great, lovely. And then later on, who's the head of Paramount at the time? Eisner? Would it have been Eisner? Whoever it was.
He was CEO back then, yeah.
Yeah, they brought him into his office and said, look, I'm not too happy about you directing this. I don't think that's going to work. And he said, well, why not? He said, well, after, what you said about Spock, having it written into your contract for Star Trek II that Spock had to die, it's not going to fit well with the fans. And he said, I never said that. That was never written into my contract. So they had to dig out his contract from Star Trek II, and there was nothing about that in the contract. And they said, oh, okay, you can direct it. But Paramount were under the impression that he hated Spock, and he said, I don't hate Spock. That's somebody else's opinion, not mine. So almost didn't direct it.
So this was some nasty rumor that got started, probably.
It sounds like it, yeah. And Paramount believed rumors rather than getting the paperwork out and checking.
Huh.
And you've heard it here on YouTube, so it's all true.
Yeah.
Subject to rapid aging. should have known you'd come. Savic's right. It's going to destroy itself in a manner. David, what went wrong? I went wrong. I don't understand. This is kind of sad. This is like the last words they're going to have, right?
Hello, Cedrus Moss. You were here last night. Thank you for coming back by. What's your story? I'd like to know people who are in the chat. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Fan of Star Trek, film scores, randomly perusing YouTube for live streams? Let us know.
Kill one of them. And I'm sorry, you're watching this in the theater, and I'm wondering who's it going to be, right?
Yeah.
I remember watching this for the first time and being shocked at the way Kirk reacts to this.
Yeah.
It's just a stunning moment.
He sees him about ready to hit Savick and tackles him. Yep. Oh! David is dead.
That stumble back is heartbreaking.
Yeah, he can't even get in the seat. He just stumbles back and falls to the floor. Part of me debates if Krug had known David was Kirk's son, would he have killed him or tried using that for more leverage? I don't know.
And there's no music here. I find that interesting.
It's probably more powerful without music.
Yeah. I did hear it was a conscious choice to not have music here. But you're right. When he just goes to sit back and falls on the ground, that's...
Yep. I give you 2 minutes for you and your gallant crew. Again, though, oh, man, the scene coming up, one of my favorites. We are Klingons. He thinks the ship is fully manned, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, why wouldn't it be? I mean, you just don't go flying across the galaxy with like 5 people on
a starship. Yeah.
Constitution class ship.
He probably figures that he's a human, he's weak. Right?
I remember watching this scene for the first time, thinking, it's not going to happen. They're going to stop this countdown at the final second. There's no way.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I have to tell you, the trailer for this is terrible. It like gives away a lot of stuff. It gives away this big moment coming up here.
It doesn't show a picture of the Enterprise in its death dive, does it?
I think it does, yeah. It says this is the final voyage of the Starship Enterprise. It says that in the trailer. It's like, what are you doing? You're spoiling the big thing.
They used to give out spoilers back in the old days. They didn't ever think about that kind of stuff.
No, like some trailers, like the trailer for 2 is actually very good. The trailer for Star Trek IV is absolutely terrible. It basically just tells the whole plot of the movie in the trailer, and then even up to the end with them coming back, it's completely stupid. It's just, what are you doing? And then the Star Trek V trailer I actually liked. It made me want to go see the movie. And then Star Trek VI, I think, has my favorite of the trailers of all the movies. I think Star Trek VI has a very solid trailer. I love this though. They're giving it, and I'm thinking. So, Ian, you didn't think this was going to happen, did you?
No. I thought they were going to build up the tension, and at the final moment, there was I didn't know what was going to happen. They were going to stop it somehow. They were going to get back on the Enterprise. Everything was going to be tickety-boo, as they used to say in England about 40 years ago.
Ah, okay. Your time runs out.
I love this crossover here in the transporter room.
Part of me wonders, like, did they have to time this just right? Would they have been? I don't know.
Well, you're talking about it being a horror film if they all melded together.
Maybe that's what I'm wondering. I think they're all just in such a hurry. We just got to do it, okay? And here's the Klingon crew, and I love this. They're like, "What's going on?" It's like,
and they must have sent over the dumbest Klingons in the world, because it's obvious that it's a countdown. And it says the computer is the only thing that's speaking.
Well, I think they weren't even
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, and remember what Krug says? He says, "No tricks." He specifically said, "No tricks." This is a big trick. Okay, I think because this would be considered maybe dishonorable in Klingon culture. What Kirk did here, I don't know. I think I'd ask Troy about that, but oh man, here we go. 6, 5. Get out of there! Get out! Boom! You're done. There goes what, half your crew? Oh. Yeah. I love he knows enough to get the ship out of there, right? To take the bird of prey away. Oh, this had to be heartbreaking when people saw this. Oh.
This is where James Horner leans heavily on Prokofiev for this bit of the score.
Yeah. You hear the drums, and then boom. It's just... and
McCoy's got a great line coming up here.
What have I... Yeah, first Kirk says, "What have I done?"
What you had to do.
What you always do. Turn death into a fighting chance to live. Boom. Sorry. This is why we love Star Trek. Okay. I like the fact we do get that moment of seeing the Enterprise fly off into the sunset like that. That was important.
They gave it a proper goodbye.
They did.
It's a beautiful shot as well.
And it's not even that long, but it's the goodbye it needed. Oh,
it's much better than the Star Trek, whatever the last Star Trek movie was, where the Enterprise blew up and flipped over, and
like half of them. I'm getting tired of it. That's all they do with the Enterprise.
Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah, Star Trek Beyond.
They messed up the Enterprise in that too, did they? They did that in Inner Darkness. Oh
yeah, that's right. They did that too. Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Spock's face here when it gets all messed up, right? It's like, all
those bladders going on his face.
Yes. It always reminds me of like Bruce Campbell's face in one of the Evil Dead movies. It's like it gets all messed up. I think it's Army of Darkness where he's shaking it free, and it's look at that. Oh. You're gonna look like Leonard Nimoy any minute now. And look at the look on Savik's face. It's like I no. I'm sorry. I'm picking on this movie. I love this movie.
And if you were Savick there watching that happen, you'd want to prod it with your finger, just to see.
Yeah, it almost seems like that's what she's about to do. I wonder if I adjust enough, can I get him to look like Paul Newman or something? I don't know. It's like...
if I can meld it a bit.
Actually, no. We love Leonard Nimoy's face. No, I'm not. Come on. He's. I mean, his face is on the cover of the poster, is outlined. Yeah. All right. Are we okay with Uhura not being part of this whole thing and her just showing up at the end?
Until you said that, I hadn't actually thought of her until I'd last seen her. But it's a shame she wasn't part of the crew.
I'm thinking they didn't want to have too many people. Even here, it seems like a lot. Plus, maybe it's also to have stakes raised. I don't think they would kill off Uhura, but they might kill off one of the other male crew members. I don't know. I mean, we lost David, so we did lose someone important, but. Look at that. This is a bad place. I bet the real estate here is pretty cheap, huh?
Well, it is now.
You could. Hey, you want to buy a continent on the Genesis planet? I can make you a sweet deal. It's like
it's a short-term let.
Yeah, I know. But as we say on Lurse, say la vie. Oh,
that's quite cold.
He's trying to get Krug.
All his men.
He's trying to get Krug to come down here. I think that's what this whole thing is about. See, nowadays they might have had him teleport behind them when I was saying that, right? But so they have to do a cut. Do you like the Klingon phasers?
I think they look a bit daft, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
It's like something you'd have seen on Doctor Who in the 60s.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very happy, Ian. I'm watching an old British show, Blake 7. I'm finally catching it for the first time.
Do you know I watched that when they first showed it in the 70s?
Oh, really?
I've
cool.
I haven't seen it since.
They put it. We have a streaming service here called BritBox, and they put it on there. I don't know if they have BritBox in England or not, but yeah.
Yeah, we have it here.
They put it. It's on there now. I'm sure they have it on your version too. But yeah, you fool! Look around you. The planet's destroying itself. We don't help each other, we'll die here. Perfect. And that's the way it shall be. You have to give Krug points. He just hates. He's done. Look at this. Look at this. He wants Genesis. So, Daniel, why does he want Genesis?
As a weapon.
Yep. That's what David was scared about when they were developing it, right? He was worried about being referred into a deadly weapon. And obviously, if the Klingons got it, that'd be the worst thing ever. Yes.
I'd be more fearful of the Romulans having it.
Oh, the Romulans, the Romulans.
I think Klingons are a bit easier to deal with.
I don't know. I have to admit, I feel like the Romulans have never quite been done justice. And don't get me started on Picard. Oh, they're not going to come back from that.
Everything's frozen.
Okay. Here we got the final scene. Give me your hand. Give me your hand. And now what's Krug trying to do? He's trying to drag him to his death, right? Oh, it's just me again. Okay. Best acting by Shatner. I have had enough of you. There you go. Okay. Knock him into the pit. He explodes. Get off this planet. It's a bad place. How's the chat doing? Elbow cough, elbow cough, elbow cough. Oh. Look at all the flames, man. It's yeah, can we get off the Genesis planet already? The ground's giving out from underneath them and it's just flames. It's just a great ball of fire. It's the planet's core. It's going to explode all over the place. Is this scientifically accurate? What do we think? All right, you got to bring up the there you are again. Is that you, Daniel?
Yeah.
How you doing? There's Ian.
That's weird. Like, my screen freezes and, like, everyone gets kicked out at the same time.
Oh, look, Kirk spoke Klingon. That was pretty clever, wasn't it?
I love the whole kicking Krug in the face, which I missed. But
yeah, I made a point. This is some great acting from Shatner. I have had enough of you. And
I heard the performance.
Yeah, we in the audience kind of feel the same way, right? I mean, at that point, Krug, just go away. It's like, I do not deserve to live. Oh my word! Troy says there's a whole nother story about what happens to that Klingon after this.
Did Troy make a comment in the chat?
No, he's told me about this on
Okay.
other streams. He said I think that guy ends up teaching the Federation about Klingon culture and stuff. But yeah, according to Klingon, it's like he would have been better off dying on the planet or dying in battle than being captured by Federation. It's like that's the worst thing imaginable. Just give him some prune juice, he'll be fine. All right, yeah, I'm not even impressed with the planet exploding. Okay, let's move on. Goodbye, David. Now, it's interesting how David's death is handled. It is mentioned briefly at the beginning of 4, remember? Sava comes up and says, David saved us. He saved us all. He died bravely. And then it's not really touched on for the rest of that movie. And then it comes up big time in Star Trek VI. How Kirk is still very resentful about that. But Kirk had to put his grief aside because he had bigger things at play now and also in Star Trek 4. But yeah, he's not happy about that, obviously. So I like the fact they didn't just brush it off. Unlike certain smugglers turned generals turned dads that get stabbed in the stomach and tossed over. Anyway, okay.
Wow, thank you for reminding me.
Well, I'm just saying I have to make people miserable. That's why I'm here. Anyway,
sure.
All right. So we got McCoy. I'm going to tell you something that I never thought I'd hear myself say. What's he going to say?
I love you.
Well, yeah.
Was Steve Frost Kelly the first one to die of the original cast?
I believe so, yes. He showed up briefly in this Star Trek TNG pilot, remember?
Yeah.
He had that cameo,
Who's left? Shatner's left.
George Takei. Yeah, and Nichelle Nichols, I believe, she's still alive, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell Kirk we'll be ready. We have Sarek. Since Sarek would show up on TNG, apparently he was friends with Picard, which I thought was interesting. That's a cool spaceship. I'm sorry. Got to get props to Sulu. He knows how to land that thing.
It's an awesome shot of that bird of prey landing.
Yep.
And Uhura's back. That looks like Kato from the Pink Panther films.
Huh.
The guy on the gong.
A little bit. Could be the same actor for all we know.
Vulcan just always looks like a weird place.
It's better in this than it was in Motion Picture. Motion Picture, it didn't look hospitable at all, but this is a bit.
Don't look very hospitable.
It looks more like a desert type planet, like maybe, I don't know. It looks better in 4 if you watch 4. You can see it in daylight. The guy blocked Kirk. He's like, okay, whatever. So Vulcans have religion, though. That's what I'm getting from all this, right?
Yeah.
What is your wish? I ask for Hal Torpan.
I asked for
So
Faltor Pan, but they're all out of stock.
Huh. My logic is uncertain. McCoy Leonard H. Son of David. Okay. So his dad was David McCoy?
Yeah.
Oh, we see a scene with his dad in Star Trek V, don't we?
We do. That's a heartbreaking scene.
Yep.
For all the ridicule that Star Trek V gets, there's some good stuff in there.
No, there is. I would argue that Star Trek V was a Murphy's Law was at play, okay? That a lot of the stuff that went wrong did go wrong in the production of that movie.
It did have a horrible production.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it. So it's not all it's not all bad. The premise is good, I think, Star Trek V. The original premise Shatner wanted to do was they go looking for God but find the devil instead, okay? But then the studio didn't want to do that. I think Roddenberry wanted to be they go looking for God, but God is just evil, okay. And then I think Shatner wanted to be, though they find Satan instead. And then I think the studio said, "What are you doing all this stuff? Just make it an evil alien that's pretending to be God or something."
There were rock monsters that got cut out at the last minute.
There's a lot of stuff. There was budgetary constraints. Paramount was not good with budgets on these. Let's be honest here. They knew how to make it work. It seemed like a much bigger production than it was, but not always. Okay. And they didn't have ILM for Star Trek V either.
Yeah, it also came out in summer of '89 with Last Crusade, Batman, Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I'd imagine ILM was busy with Last Crusade, probably. That's probably what they were working on. Yeah. So. Okay, so I'm going to transfer his soul out of your body into the body. That's what they're doing, okay? I love how in Star Trek 4 they're all in the same outfits. Because in 1985 Earth, so you have Scotty and Uhura in their Starfleet uniforms. You have Spock in that weird white robe, and it works perfectly. It's just
it is San Francisco.
I know, which is probably why it wasn't as. Oh.
They should do a special edition of Star Trek 4, where it's explained at the beginning that, you know, they haven't showered or bathed for weeks. That's why they're still wearing the same clothes, and then they can CGI in clouds of flies around them. And have all the Vulcans saying how much the humans stink. It's just an idea.
Maybe. I'd imagine they had some kind of bath, and maybe they got their clothes dry cleaned before they had to leave for their final trip home, right? Okay, that's probably what happened. I hope.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that woman would have went out with Kirk if he had been stinking to high heaven, right? Maybe humans in the future just don't stink, you know? Think about it. We've overcome that with overcome it like with the poverty and the want. We also don't smell anymore. Okay. It's like... Okay. I have to admit this is a bold choice for an ending. It's not some big explosion. It's actually this weird religious ceremony where we get to find out if Spock is still with us or not. It's I think it's fitting and it works. It's not some big explosion or anything. It's or action sequence. It's
Yeah, I mean it's been what 10 minutes since the Genesis planet exploded, and it's just been, you know, this putting the Kartra back into Spock's body.
Yep. Time will tell. What I have done, I had to do. He understood this, yes. I think Sarek, as much as a Vulcan will allow himself feels bad for Kirk right now.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. In fact, he's the one that...
Is gratitude a feeling, or is it...
I don't know.
Sentiment.
Vulcans... They have to have very control of their emotions. I think that's what it is.
That's the thing with Vulcans, though. They are incredibly emotional people, but they just choose to suppress that emotion.
Yeah. It's like, again, I made a point about Star Trek Discovery. I thought the idea of Michael Burnham maybe being a human trying to live the Vulcan life and not being able to handle it, and that's why she has those rage fits, would have been interesting, but that's not really what they decided to do. But so here we have...
And you've actually watched Discovery, right?
Watched the first 2 seasons. I'm done.
Okay.
I actually cut it slack even with the first season. Said there are problems here, but nothing that's insurmountable. And then we got the 2, and I'm done with 2. Just so people coming after me. I'm like, you know, I never came into the show wanting to hate it. Here we got Spock, and it's like, is he all there? Is he recognizing anybody?
I think an interesting end would be if Spock went up to Kirk here and just went and just ran off into the sunset.
That was one ending that didn't do well at test screenings. Okay. Why would you do this? Because the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many. Boom.
I mean, isn't that what loyalty is?
And he totally reversed it on Spock there, what he said in the other movie. And he's right, and this movie proves it.
ship.
Does he remember? Jim. Your name is Jim.
There's the Star Trek theme.
They didn't use the original Star Trek. They used the fanfare a lot in the films, but they never used the actual theme from the TV show much.
No, they didn't. Not really until we get to the Abrams movie, oddly enough, I think.
No.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I know. I like that his name is, when he says your name is Jim, we know everything's going to be okay, right? I do like the fact that he's still a little out of sorts in the next one, though. You know? And the adventure continues. This is a play from like motion picture. The human adventure is just beginning or something, and then this is like, and the adventure continues. Yeah.
I mean, if they never made any more Star Trek films after this, that would be a great place to finish it.
Yeah. But I like how 4 starts. They're in big trouble with the Federation, okay? They're thinking they're getting prison time. They're going to be mining borite somewhere. That's what Dr. McCoy says. And
he's always a bit dramatic, though. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I mean, they're, you know, I think even Kirk says, maybe I can take it under. No, we were with you on this. We're going to plead with you, okay? You know, and I do think it's interesting in the next movie how when the Christopher Lloyd's character makes a point, even as our emissaries are going to or ambassadors are going to the Federation to sue for peace, we will steal Genesis. And you see one of those ambassadors in the beginning of Star Trek 4 screaming about Kirk. You know, I think that was one of the ones the Klingon Empire sent to try to have some sort of a beginning of a peace talk with the Federation, and then, you know, the stuff comes out with them blowing up the Klingons on the ship, and then Sarah comes along and actually is the one that's going to defend Kirk in the trial, right? That's what I got the impression of, at least defending him in front of the. So I don't know. It's good stuff here. So you didn't see this in the theater. You had to wait for VHS, Daniel?
Yeah.
And you
Daniel,
too.
sorry.
Well, no, both of you, right? Yeah, both VHS. This one I saw in the movie theater. I didn't see Star Trek 2 or Star Trek Motion Picture, but I saw this one in the movie theater. And I think I saw every subsequent Star Trek movie in the movie theaters, except for Beyond, which I skipped on the big screen.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Which I just caught checking it out from the local library. Anyway, yeah, because I saw Nemesis in the theater. I did see Nemesis in the theater.
I think Nemesis was the last film I actually saw in the theater. Yeah.
What do you mean last film? Last movie, period?
The last Star Trek film.
Oh, okay.
I've seen all the new ones, but I never saw them in the theater.
Well, you know, I don't think there's much. I have to tell you, I was not happy with Into Darkness. Oh, but yeah, meh.
I quite enjoyed the new Star Trek films, to be truthful.
Really? Well, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. I actually thought the first one wasn't bad for what it was. I thought they're having to restart it for a new audience, new cast. Okay, and then and even Beyond, I think might have worked if they hadn't done that thing with Idris Elba's character at the end, which I thought was a little heavy-handed. But Anyway,
that
though,
yeah, that's like
they have to. They always have to have a twist. That's the problem. You don't always have to have a twist. Stop with the twists.
Yeah.
That's like M. Night Shyamalan. You know, you're always expecting the twist with his movies, right?
And if there isn't one, the film's a bogey.
Yeah, I have to watch Glass still. Don't spoil it for me, anyone who's seen it. The Vulcans, the stand-ins, the others. Okay, do we like the what?
The Spock screams.
What?
Frank Welker, the guy that did Megatron, he did the screams for Spock in this.
That's good to know. That takes it back to what we were watching last week with those robots killing each other.
Yeah.
That's the robots kill each other movie, or the toys kill each other movie.
You know,
Can you
I
imagine
missed
they
that
introduced
stream.
Oh well, you can check it out. You can check it out. It's on there. It's us talking about the original Transformers movie, not that Michael Bay garbage, right? Right, Daniel.
That's right. That's right.
But the Michael Bay movies had Megan Fox in the first two, and that
I don't care.
who the heck was the model in the third one? I think it's the one who's dating Jason, who was with Jason
Rosie
Statham.
Hunting something white.
Yeah, she was nice, and I didn't buy for 1 second she was with Shia LaBeouf. That's no, especially how he was portrayed in that movie.
She was like 6'3", and Shia LaBeouf is what, 4'3".
Probably, yeah. Oh man. Oh, original Capitol Records and cassettes. You can get yourself a copy of the soundtrack, guys.
Oh, it's still
Remember
available. Yay!
No, you'd watch the end credits, and I'm like, cool, I'd go to the store and buy it. It's no, that thing's been out of print for a while now, kid. Here, we got the Star Trek IV soundtrack. Listen to the weird Kenny G style jazz riffs in it or something. I'm sorry. I'm just how do you like this movie? It's asking me. 0 stars, I think. You know what? We'll give you. I'm going to give you a solid 3, 3.5. We'll do 3.5. Out of
5.
Out of 5. Yeah. Well, 4. Nothing gets 5 stars. That's a lie. That's a lie. Okay?
Empire Strikes Back.
No.
Yes.
4 stars is as high as you go. None of this 5-star nonsense. It's a 5. It's 4 stars is the max for any movie. Okay, come on.
Oh, so by your rules, you can't give 5 stars to anything.
No.
Okay, I'll give it 5 stars then.
Excellent.
Okay, should I watch the trailer? Let me watch the trailer where everything gets spoiled in the trailer. It's a very short trailer. It's 1 minute and 10 seconds long, too. And here we go. All that they've hoped for, all that they've lived for comes to this. Here's the last. It's spoiling the entire movie. They're showing a lot of scenes with models. I noticed in this trailer. Okay, they're really pumping it because that's what we want to see. We want to see the ships firing at each other. Something which we didn't get in Star Trek: The Next Generation season 1.
No.
Look at that Klingon bird of prey. That's cool. Christopher Lloyd saying this Klingon thing, fire, boom. And it looks like he blew the Enterprise up. Oh, the trailer makes it look like the Klingons blew it up. Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. And the trailer for Star Trek IV is absolutely terrible. Oh. And they play the James Horner score from Star Trek II in the Star Trek IV trailer. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So if you're interested to see a different take on score to that. Oh, I get featurettes, visual effects. And what's this one? I don't know. Okay. So what's next week, Birdman? Had you made a decision?
We're doing Apollo 13 on Feel Good Tuesday night.
Okay.
That's as much as I know right now.
That's a great film.
Yeah.
All right.
I was at the Space Center last weekend, and I kept thinking about Apollo 13. So I asked Zootopia if he wanted to do it, and he said, "Yeah." And Troy's on board. Troy said he's never seen Apollo 13. I'm like, wow, I don't know how to feel about you now as a person.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's got Kevin Bacon in it.
It does. Yes. Score by James Horner. That was my point. But it does have Kevin Bacon. So
and it's got what's his name in it?
Tom Hanks.
Yes. Are you doing a Wednesday stream next week?
Yeah. I just don't
You're
know.
not going to burn
movie.
yourself out, are you? Okay, you're going to see if anybody else can make it.
Yeah. Sir Ian, what movie would you suggest for next week?
Well, for next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Name all the films that you haven't done, and I'll choose one.
Battle Beyond the Stars.
Haven't done that one.
Actually, no, you have to get the Weather Girl back on for that one. Okay. Or Weather Woman, I should say. Okay. Let's not.
For Battle Beyond the Stars?
Yeah, because she missed out on the one Harry Potter, so that's a punishment. Okay. I'm trying to think what else haven't we done. We haven't done the Care Bears movie.
Did you say the Care Bears movie?
Yeah, I did.
Which Care Bears?
It's a lost class. Well, the original, obviously.
Okay,
of course.
Hold on. Was there a Thundercats movie?
No.
Oh, that'd be great.
A big screen Thundercats movie with extra blood and violence that wasn't on the show. No.
G.I. Joe. We'll do G.I. Joe next
G.I.
week.
Joe the movie. Are you kidding me?
No.
Why shouldn't that be on your Feel Good Tuesday? Because that's a patriotic movie or something.
No.
Fine, we'll do. Do you have the score to G.I. Joe the movie?
The live action one. Alan Silvestri did it.
You are making me pay for Omen Month. I can already tell.
Oh, I'm on board with Omen Month.
You better be on our Omen Month. It's got a great cast. You got in the first movie. You
better hey, when you ponder
Patrick Troughton and David Warner. Come on, okay.
Well, hey, Boomer, when you ponder tonight what you're getting for Halloween present, think about the Omen.
There's no Halloween presents. No Halloween presents.
I already bought them. Too late.
Oh my goodness! What is? Stop. Anyways. Ooh, Day of the Triffids. Is that on Amazon?
G.I. Joe, the Rise of Cobra, next Wednesday night.
The Rise of Cobra. So the live action
choice.
one, okay? All right.
Yeah.
The live action one, okay.
It's got Alan Silvestri score. I mean, it's not great American cinema, but I like to have it in while I'm cleaning the house or something. Sit down, and that Baroness lady sure is hot. I'm just going to say that.
Oh, what's her name? I know who.
Gattaca? Chris P. Gattaca? Yeah, I do Gattaca. But
That's
next week we're doing G.I. Joe. What's the week after next week?
I don't know.
The following week.
Yeah.
I'm good at
Gattaca? Was it Michael? Did Michael Dana do Gattaca?
Oh.
Michael Nyman.
Michael. Okay.
Now I'm trying to see if Rise of Cobra is streaming anywhere. I bet it's on Paramount, right? That strikes me as a Paramount movie.
Yeah, well, don't. It was, but
Paramount Plus, but yeah, it's not going to be on here because it got sold to AMC Plus or some other. Oh, Star Trek Day. Oh, thank you, Paramount Plus. Can I watch Star Trek 3 on your service on Star Trek Day? I think not. I see this weird CG Kate Mulgrew. I'm not digging that at all. Okay, no CG Janeway. All right, what am I looking for? I'm looking for Rise of Cobra, which won't be here. Or maybe it will. I don't know. I'm thinking this Paramount Plus subscription is going to pay off. What do you think, Daniel?
About your Paramount Plus subscription?
You are about if it's going to pay off for me.
I don't know. That sounds like a personal question.
Oh, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is the Turtle series I don't want to see. Okay, well, it's not on here. I'll get my hands on it somehow.
Okay.
Alrighty, I'm looking forward to. I've never seen Rise of Cobra. I'll have to try and watch it beforehand.
I've got the DVD. I can send it to you if you need a copy.
I can get the DVD. I work for a library system.
Okay.
All right.
I thought the library was a classy place, though. I mean, yeah.
You'd be surprised what you can find in a library. We have the 50 Shades movies. If you want to do a rewatch of that sometime, give me some warning.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tune in next week for GI Joe. That'll be good to comment on. So,
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
You want to come on for GI Joe?
No. I'm not. I won't come on. I'll be there watching.
We'll be in the chat.
Okay.
Look at this. It's on Peacock.
Really?
Those of you with a Peacock subscription, which is the universal streaming service, can watch this Paramount movie. Enjoy. Why? Why? I don't know why. Hopefully it'll be there next week when I do the rewatch. Okay. All right. G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra. Oh, Christopher Eccleston's in it.
He was a doctor.
He was Doctor Who. He was Doctor Who.
Yeah.
For the first season of the revival series. All right, cool beans. All right,
hey,
I'll check it.
Chris P, can I count you in for Gattaca on the 15th?
I think I own Gattaca on DVD. I'm not positive though. Jonathan Pryce is in it.
Yep.
Dennis Quaid.
Yep. Brendan Fraser.
Very briefly.
Very briefly.
Oh, look at this. I even get a trailer. Okay, cool. I'm in for Rise of Cobra. Looking forward to it. Well, if I don't know anything about G.I. Joe, will this show me the ropes? Yes. What's with the sigh? What's with the sigh?
You're a child of the 80s and you didn't play with Transformers.
Whatever.
You didn't play with G.I. Joe.
I didn't play with He-Man either. I didn't want to play with He-Man either, okay?
Okay, I think I'm Facebook friends with Michael Nyman. Okay, I'm going to ask him to be on the Gattaca stream as well. How about that? Does that sound cool?
Who's he?
Brilliant.
He's the guy that composed Gattaca.
Okay, yeah, have him on. Have him on.
Well, I'm going to send him a message on Facebook and invite him, and maybe he'll come. We'll see.
Cool. All right, I'll catch you later.
All right. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Remember, adopt, don't shop, and keep listening to great film scores. Thank you, Sir Ian, for partying with us tonight. Always wonderful to have you on. And H. Boomer needs to get some G.I. Joe figures. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. Have a good night, y'all.
Right.